How you doing, everybody? My name is Dr. Sami Baya. Please welcome back to my YouTube channel. Narcissists lose grade A supply, consequences and reactions. That's the title of this video. We know that narcissists are selfish, self-centered, egotistic, egocentric individuals. They are self-absorbed. They need constant attention, constant admiration from you. Narcissists only care about themselves. It's always about them, their own needs. They lack empathy. They use them, they discard you. Now, narcissistic supply refers to the attention, the constant admiration, the validation, the recognition, the acknowledgement, the praise, and the emotional reactions that a narcissist derives from others to support their inflated self-image. Grade A supply typically comes from sources who provide consistent and constant adoration, admiration, attention, praise, or status enhancement. Often, these people could be intimate partners, high-profile acquaintances, or subordinates. So, what is the importance of grade A supply? To a narcissist, grade A supply is more than mere admiration. It is a lifeline. This supply validates the narcissist's false self and temporarily quells the chronic emptiness, self-loathing, and insecurity they feel. Losing such a source, grade A supply, is not a trivial inconvenience. It is a psychological wound. Now, when a narcissist is dealing with the grade A supply, how do they view this supply? How do they view their supply? Narcissists see their grade A supply as extensions of themselves. These people are not valued by narcissists for their individuality. They are valued for how well they serve the narcissist's ego. When the grade A supply begins to pull away, when they begin to disappear, the narcissist experiences panic or rage. When grade A supply begins to disappear, or to withdraw, either through distancing, refusal to engage, or outright departure, the narcissist's fragile self-construct begins to crumble. The mask of grandiosity is challenged, leading to internal chaos. The narcissist may first respond with denial. They refuse to accept that their top source of validation is leaving. They may convince themselves that it's just a phase or it is the result of a misunderstanding. To prevent the loss, the narcissist may begin gaslighting, questioning the reality of the supply's feelings, rewriting past events, or undermining their perception. This is an attempt to regain control and preserve the dynamic. Desperate to retain their grade A supply, the narcissist might resort to love bombing. They shower their grade A supply with affection, apologies, promises of change. And the hoovering tactics will include manipulative behaviors meant to suck the person back into the relationship. If the narcissist attempts to regain control fail, they swing into narcissistic rage. Narcissistic rage can erupt, and the narcissistic rage is often explosive, irrational, and cruel. The narcissist lashes out to reassert dominance and punish the source of their betrayal. If regaining control fails, the narcissist often pivots to devaluation. They belittle the supply. They attack their character. They attack their intelligence. They attack their morality. This is a defense mechanism to protect their ego from rejection. To further devalue the person and gain sympathy from others, the narcissist may initiate a smear campaign. They distort events and portray themselves as the victim while vilifying the grade A supply. Without adequate narcissistic supply, the narcissist's false self begins to deteriorate. Feelings of worthlessness, shame, and existential emptiness rise to the surface. This is the core of narcissistic injury. The loss of grade A supply can trigger a profound identity crisis. If the narcissist has anchored their worth in that relationship or dynamic, its absence forces them to confront who they are without that external validation. Rather than facing these uncomfortable truths, narcissists often immediately seek new sources of supply. They may rush into new relationships. They may try to rekindle old ones to avoid the void. The narcissist's replacements for grade A supply are typically superficial. These new sources rarely provide the same depth of attention or validation, which leads to increased instability and desperation. Narcissistic supply functions similarly to a drug. The loss of grade A supply creates withdrawal symptoms, anxiety, irritability, paranoia, and impulsive behavior, all stemming from emotional deprivation. Unable to introspect, the narcissist projects their pain onto others. They blame the former supply, mutual friends, or the world for their suffering, reinforcing their delusional sense of victimhood. The narcissist may become paranoid, fearing exposure or humiliation. They worry that their former grade A supply will reveal their true nature and that they may act preemptively to discredit them. To cope, narcissists may retreat into fantasy. They create elaborate narratives where they are still powerful, desirable, and right. These delusions buffer them against the harshness of a rejection. As more people begin to see through the narcissist's facade, they may become socially isolated. Their reputation suffers, and relationships become transactional or strained. Without grade A supply to regulate their mood, the narcissist can become increasingly erratic. Depression, anxiety, insomnia, and anger outbursts become more frequent. Some narcissists obsess over the lost supply. They stalk their social media. They try to interfere with new relationships or continuously reach out in hopes of rekindling the bond. In severe cases, the loss of primary supply, the loss of grade A supply leads to a full-blown narcissistic collapse. This is a mental breakdown characterized by extreme despair, apathy, and a complete loss of self-esteem. In rare instances, the narcissist may appear humbled, expressing regret, seeking therapy, or apologizing. However, this is often a manipulative tactic rather than true change. Eventually, the narcissist begins to rebuild their mask. They create a new persona, gather new admirers, and re-establish control in different relationships or settings. Once stabilized, the narcissist repeats the cycle with a new grade A supply. The pattern of idealization, devaluation, and discard continues, rooted in the same emotional deficits. The person who leaves often endures emotional trauma, confusion, and self-doubt. Healing requires understanding the narcissistic dynamic and reclaiming personal identity. Over time, the narcissist may experience increasing emptiness, relationship failures, and reputational damage. They become more isolated and reliant on superficial validation. Most narcissists do not undergo real psychological growth. Without introspection and accountability, they remain trapped in a cycle of self-deception and emotional dependency. Though rare, some narcissists, especially those with narcissistic traits rather than full narcissistic personality disorder, may pursue therapy and achieve some level of self-awareness and behavioral change. Now, as a final reflection, the loss of grade A supply is a seismic event in a narcissist's world. It reveals their dependency, fragility, and distorted self-worth. For those affected, Escaping this dynamic often marks the beginning of healing and the reclaiming of personal freedom. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you've learned a thing or two. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you've not done so. Thank you.